You're exhausted. Not from working, not from life's demands, from performing. Every room you enter, you're calculating, monitoring. Am I saying enough? Too much? Do they notice me? Do they like what they see? You laugh louder, speak faster, fill every silence because silence feels like failure. And here's what kills you. Nobody's watching. The harder you try, the more invisible you become. Different day, same reaction. You see someone else walk in. They don't announce themselves, don't perform, don't beg for attention with stories or jokes or carefully crafted opinions. They just are. And everyone notices. The room shifts, conversations pause, eyes drift toward them without knowing why. You tell yourself it's luck, genetics, some gift you weren't given. But it's not. It's discipline. It's the difference between noise and presence, between trying to be attractive and being attractive. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. They knew that magnetism doesn't come from what you do for approval. It comes from who you become when you stop seeking it. Silent attractiveness isn't about staying quiet. It's about becoming so grounded in yourself that your presence communicates what your words never could. 10 habits, ancient wisdom, modern application. This isn't about performing better. It's about stopping the performance entirely. If you're done performing and ready to transform, drop "I choose presence" below. Let's begin. Habit 1. Master the art of silent elegance. The first habit is learning when not to speak. Most people treat conversation like a competition. They wait for their turn, already rehearsing what they'll say instead of actually listening. They fill every gap with words because silence makes them uncomfortable. But silence is where power lives. Epictetus taught, first learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. Notice he didn't say, speak constantly, or make sure everyone hears you. He said, learn what your words actually mean, then use them with intention. Silent elegance means your words carry weight because you don't waste them. When you do speak, people lean in. They listen, because scarcity creates value. Think about the people who've impressed you most in conversations. Were they the ones talking non-stop, or were they the ones who listened deeply and spoke only when they had something meaningful to contribute? Here's the practice. In your next conversation, pause 3 seconds before responding, just 3 seconds. Let the other person's words actually land. Let yourself think before you react. You'll notice something fascinating. People interpret your silence as confidence, as depth, as someone who doesn't need to fill space with noise. Marcus Aurelius spent hours in contemplative silence. His thoughts became meditations that still resonate 2,000 years later. Your silence today builds tomorrow's magnetism. Habit 2. Cultivate unshakable composure. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your coworker takes credit for your idea. A friend cancels plans last minute. What do? Most people react. They explode, complain, spiral into frustration. They let external events dictate their internal state. And everyone around them feels it. That lack of control, that emotional volatility. It's repelling. Unshakable composure is the second habit, and it's rooted in one of Stoicism's core principles. You control your reactions, not your circumstances. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Composure doesn't mean you don't feel emotions. It means you don't let emotions control you. You feel anger, acknowledge it, and choose your response rather than letting it choose for you. Why is this attractive? Because stability is rare. In a world where everyone's reacting, overreacting, and emotionally unraveling over minor inconveniences, the person who remains calm becomes a gravitational center. People are drawn to stability. They trust it. They want to be near it. Here's your practice. When something frustrates you today, pause. Take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years, 5 months, 5 days? Then respond from that perspective. Composure isn't about suppressing yourself, it's about mastering yourself. And mastery is magnetic. Habit 3. Practice authentic independence. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. How much of what you do is genuinely for you, and how much is performance for others? The clothes you wear, the opinions you share, the hobbies you pursue, are they yours, or are they carefully curated to win approval? Authentic independence is the 3rd habit, and it's terrifying for most people because it requires you to stop seeking permission to exist as yourself. The Stoics called this living in accordance with nature, your true nature, not the version of you designed to please everyone else. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Part of that friction is the discomfort of standing alone in your truth when the crowd is going a different direction. Here's what makes independence attractive. It signals you're not for sale. Your validation doesn't depend on anyone's approval. You're not changing your personality based on who's in the room. That's rare, and rarity creates value. People can sense when you need them to complete you, and it pushes them away. But when you're whole on your own, when you invite people into your life rather than desperately needing them, that's magnetic. Practice this. Make one decision today based solely on what you want, not what would impress others. Start there. Habit 4. Be fully present in every interaction. When was the last time someone gave you their complete attention? Not half listening while scrolling their phone, not nodding while clearly thinking about something else, but truly present, eyes focused, mind engaged, energy directed entirely at you. Probably rare, right? That's because presence is dying. We're drowning in distraction, and genuine attention has become the scarcest resource on earth. Being fully present is the 4th habit, and it's one of the most powerful forms of silent attraction you can develop. When you're talking with someone, are you actually there? Or are you thinking about your next meeting, your notifications, what you're going to say next? Marcus Aurelius practiced this ruthlessly. He wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." He understood that presence starts internally. You can't give attention outward if your mind is scattered inward. Here's what happens when you master presence. People feel seen, and feeling seen is one of the deepest human needs. You're not performing, you're not waiting to talk. You're genuinely interested in understanding them. That creates connection, real connection, the kind that people remember long after the conversation ends. Your practice. In every conversation today, put your phone away completely. Make eye contact. Listen like their words are the only thing that matters. Watch what happens. Habit 5. Embrace voluntary discomfort. Comfort is a trap. The more you seek it, the weaker you become. And weakness, no matter how you dress it up, is never attractive. The 5th habit is embracing voluntary discomfort, and it's directly pulled from Stoic practice. Marcus Aurelius would sleep on the floor. Seneca would fast regularly. Epictetus endured slavery before becoming one of history's most influential philosophers. They understood that strength comes from deliberately choosing difficulty when you don't have to. Why does this matter for attraction? Because people can sense resilience. When you've trained yourself to handle discomfort, you move through the world differently. Challenges don't break you. Setbacks don't define you. You're anti-fragile. You get stronger through adversity. And that quiet strength, it's magnetic. Here's what voluntary discomfort looks like in practice. Take cold showers. Work out even when you don't feel like it. Have the difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Say no when yes would be easier. Each act builds your capacity to handle what life throws at you. Seneca wrote, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." But that power isn't theoretical. It's forged through deliberate practice. Stop choosing the easy path in everything. Start choosing growth. The person who can endure discomfort without complaining is the person everyone wants on their team. Become that person. Habit 6. Develop deep self-awareness. How well do you actually know yourself? Not the version you present to the world, not the persona you've built, but the real you, your fears, your triggers, your patterns, your wounds, your strengths. Most people live their entire lives without ever asking that question seriously. Developing deep self-awareness is the 6th habit, and it's foundational to everything else. Marcus Aurelius kept a journal, what we now call meditations, where he constantly examined his thoughts, his reactions, his principles. He wasn't writing for an audience, he was writing to understand himself. That practice created one of the most magnetically authentic leaders in human history. Self-awareness is attractive because it eliminates the need for pretense. When you know who you are, flaws included, you stop hiding, you stop performing, you show up as yourself, and that authenticity draws people in. People trust someone who knows themselves. They're wary of people who are still figuring out which mask to wear. Here's your practice. Spend 10 minutes every evening reflecting on your day, not judging it, just observing. What triggered you? What made you feel alive? Where did you act from fear instead of principle? Write it down. Over time, patterns emerge. You start seeing yourself clearly. And that clarity, it translates into a quiet confidence that needs no announcement. You just are. Habit 7. Listen more than you speak. We already touched on silence, but this habit goes deeper. Listening more than you speak isn't just about being quiet. It's about genuine curiosity. It's about making the conversation about understanding rather than impressing. Most people listen just enough to find an opening for their own story. They're not interested in you. They're waiting for their chance to talk about themselves. You feel that, don't you? When someone's not really listening. The 7th habit is becoming the opposite. Someone who listens to understand, not to respond. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Simple wisdom, rarely practiced. When you genuinely listen, something powerful happens. People feel valued. They feel like they matter, and we're drawn to people who make us feel that way. This isn't manipulation. It's genuine interest in the human being in front of you. Here's the practice. In your next conversation, ask 3 follow-up questions before saying anything about yourself. Really explore what they're sharing. Go deeper. Notice how the energy shifts. Notice how they lean in. Notice how you learn things you'd have missed if you were just waiting to talk. Listening creates connection. Connection creates attraction. Master this, and you'll never struggle to build meaningful relationships again. Habit 8. Maintain strong boundaries. Here's a hard truth. If you don't respect yourself, no one else will either. The 8th habit is maintaining strong boundaries, and it's where most people fail in their pursuit of attractiveness. They say yes when they mean no. They tolerate disrespect to keep the peace. They compromise their values to be liked. And it backfires every time. Boundaries aren't walls, they're standards. They're you saying, "This is how I expect to be treated. This is what I will and won't accept." The Stoics were masters of this. Marcus Aurelius could have lived in luxury, indulging every desire. Instead, he maintained discipline. He set boundaries on his own behavior and the behavior he'd accept from others. Why is this attractive? Because people respect those who respect themselves. When you have clear boundaries, you're not desperate. You're not accommodating everyone at your own expense. You're showing that your time, energy, and presence have value. And value attracts. Here's your practice. Identify one area where you're currently letting someone cross a boundary. Maybe it's a friend who constantly cancels. Maybe it's a coworker who dumps their work on you. Address it. Calmly, clearly, without apology. "I value our friendship, but I need you to respect my time." Watch how the dynamic shifts. Self-respect commands respect. Habit 9. Practice gratitude and contentment. Desperation repels, contentment attracts. The 9th habit is practicing gratitude and contentment, and it might be the most counterintuitive one on this list. We're taught that wanting more, striving harder, and never being satisfied is the path to success. And while ambition has its place, constant dissatisfaction makes you exhausting to be around. The Stoics practiced what they called negative visualization, imagining the loss of what they had to cultivate gratitude for its presence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." When you're genuinely content with where you are, you stop radiating need. You stop looking to others to fill some void inside you. And that's attractive because people want to add to your life, not complete it. Think about it. Would you rather spend time with someone who's constantly complaining about what they lack, or someone who appreciates what they have while still growing? Here's the practice. Every morning, write down 3 things you're genuinely grateful for, not performative gratitude, real appreciation. Your health, a conversation you had, the coffee you're drinking. Small things, real things. This shifts your baseline from scarcity to abundance. And abundance, even quiet abundance, is magnetic. You become someone who adds value instead of draining it. Habit 10. Live with purpose beyond approval. The 10th and final habit is the most important. Live with purpose beyond approval. This is what separates silent attractiveness from everything else. It's the culmination of all 9 previous habits. When you have a mission, something you're building, creating, or pursuing that's bigger than yourself, you stop caring so much about what people think of you. You're too busy doing meaningful work. Marcus Aurelius had an empire to run. Epictetus taught philosophy to transform lives. Seneca wrote to preserve wisdom for future generations. They weren't worried about being liked. They were focused on being useful. And that focus created an undeniable magnetism. When you walk into a room and you're not seeking validation because you already have purpose, everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your presence deepens. People sense that you're on a mission, and they either want to support it or get out of your way. Here's the practice. Identify one thing you'd pursue, even if no one ever saw it, even if you never got credit, even if you were never applauded. What would you do just because it matters to you? Start doing that. Build toward it every single day. Purpose creates meaning, meaning creates fulfillment, and fulfillment radiates in ways words never could. Stop performing for applause. Start building for impact. That's where silent attractiveness becomes unstoppable. So here's where you are now. You've seen the 10 habits. You understand the philosophy behind them. You know that silent attractiveness isn't about tricks. It's about transformation. But knowing isn't the same as being. The real question is, what will you do with this? Because you can watch this video, nod along, feel inspired for 20 minutes, and then go right back to performing. Right back to seeking approval. Right back to exhausting yourself trying to be noticed. Or you can choose differently. You can start today, right now. Pick one habit and commit to it for the next 30 days. Maybe it's mastering silence. Maybe it's building composure. Maybe it's finally setting that boundary you've avoided. Just one. The Stoics didn't become magnetic overnight. They forged themselves through daily discipline, through deliberate practice, through choosing who they wanted to be over and over again. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Stop talking about becoming the person who commands attention without seeking it. Be that person. Because the world doesn't need more performers. It needs more people who've done the work to become genuinely, quietly, undeniably attractive. Not because they're trying, because they've stopped trying and started being. The habits are here, the philosophy is clear. Now it's your move. Stop performing. Start becoming. If you're done performing and ready to build silent magnetism, leave a comment below. I choose presence. And subscribe to the Stoic mode with notifications on, because this is just the beginning of your transformation from noise to power. Thank you for being here. Stay silent. Stay strong.